In Jeremiah 1 and 5. And I want you to get this. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. That means your purpose was already assigned before your arrival here in this earth realm. Do you understand how powerful that really, really is? You, you not a mistake. Guess I'm gonna say repeat it. When you got earth realm. Do you understand how powerful that really, really is? You were not a mistake, as I'm going to say repeatedly, probably through this broadcast. And I say it repeatedly through all the times that we come together and we meet this way, because you've got God is always talking. A lot of times we say, I can't hear him. He's talking to you in various situations all the time. You just have to incline yourself to really, really hear. Now, that's by purpose and let me see. It's on purpose, okay? It's not by purpose. It's on purpose to intentionally listen to what God is speaking to you. That's really, really important to understand. When you understand the totality of how you intricately, strategically fit in to the world's systems, so that you can be that change agent, then you understand how valuable you are. I know. We're not of the world, but we are in the world. And so, because we're in the world, we have to intricately make sure that we're in the ebb and flow of what's going on. No, you're not of the world, because the world did not produce you. God did. The world did not speak you into existence. God did. But you still have to understand that it's important for you to flow in and out of why you're here. You're here for a purpose. You were created on purpose, and you are the only one that can fulfill your purpose. We get caught up in so many different things. We get caught up in what people say to us. We get caught up in what people say about us. We get caught up in what our mindset is. All right? It's really, really important, all right, that you are asking for the same mind that was in Christ Jesus to be also in you. Now, what does that mean? So, I understand, ladies, that there's some of you that you may not walk the same path of faith that I walk. You may not even believe in Jesus Christ. You may not even believe in God. But you have to stop and believe that you are not here just to take up space. That you have to come to terms with that. That God did not, okay, so that you're not just an energy force in the world just to be flowing through the world. All right. And I'm going to break it down on terms that for those of you that may be non-believers of God, that you can understand. You see, I know that I'm called to the women of faith, to the kingdom women specifically, but I also recognize and understand that we are not always all on the same level in when it comes to faith. And I am not here to shove my faith down your throat, but I am here to help you to recognize and understand that there is one that does dwell within you that will lead you to your greatness if you allow him. If you allow him. I never make excuses or apologies for the faith that I hold and I maintain, because I promise you, without it, I would not be here and I would not be accomplishing the things that I accomplish in this earth realm. I would not be able to walk through the situations and the circumstances that I walk through on a daily basis. So that's why my faith is so important to me. All right. I've read so many different places and I've counted so many different women and lionesses that you don't believe because of things that have happened to you in your lifetime. And I understand that. And I never want you to think that I make light of what you have walked through, because I understand that, it may have been very detrimental or traumatic for you. And so I understand that. But I also understand, because I've walked through my own situations. I've walked through the setup of the enemy in my own life. I've walked through um, the different phases of molestation and different things that will cause you to doubt. And I've come out on the other side with the knowledge that it was not God's plan for me to encounter the things that I encountered at the hands of man. But even though it was not his plan, because he has given his creation, his human creation, the ability to have freedom of choice, I understand that sometimes people choose the wrong path. People choose to do things that aren't in line with what they were created, or the purpose that they were created for. And I've shared this on various different times. And this may be the first time that you're joining Unstoppable Lionesses. This may be the first time that you're actually hearing from me. And so I want to make this perfectly clear on why you do yourself a disservice by not understanding the greatness that was placed within you based on what was done to you. All right. I was in a place and I was talking to the Lord, because I talk to God daily. I really do. And he answers. It's amazing. But he can answer in so many different situations and circumstances that are going on around me. I can see the beauty of God in his creation. I can be going down the street. This has truly happened to me, and get a message in a license plate because of a trailer being pulled. It's crazy. I'm not even going to go into that story. It'll take too long. But I do understand that God is in the business of building us up and not tearing us down. And that's why what I shared, that, I know the plans and purpose I have for you, plans of good and not of evil. That's Jeremiah 29:11. It's not his plan that the evil that was done to you was done to you. That was not the plan of God. However, even in the midst of the evil that has been done to you, he is there to help you heal from it. He is there to help you get beyond the negative connotations that it built up in your mind, according to, or to stop you or limit you in what you are called to in him. All right. So you need to I just need you to at least embrace that part. Okay. All right. Now, hopefully that sets the stage for what we're going to talk about next. All right. And dealing with your purpose. Here's something that we don't talk about enough, and that is the fact that purpose is a process. It is something that we go through life to process, to make us stronger and better in what we were called to do. You don't wake up one day and say, "This is it." You grow into it. All right. Sometimes your greatest clarity comes in your lowest valley. The wilderness season isn't a curse, it's a classroom. It prepares you for the weight of your assignment. So don't despise small beginnings. Don't rush your rise to greatness because I guarantee you the greatness is there and you grow into it. All right. I will give you scriptures because that's where I come from. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. If you're in a season of waiting, preparation, or even obscurity, know this: God is not punishing you, He's positioning you. I can testify. Before I stepped into this public space, I had time to go through private breaking, healing, learning, and surrender. And those of you that know me, I will share my journey with you. I'm very, very transparent. Just a few months ago, I walked through the transitioning of my husband and I shared it. I shared the journey because I understand that there are so many that walk through similar situations. They walk through the loss of a loved one, and they don't have anybody to talk to about it, or they don't really understand the totality of the healing process of it. I'm still in that healing process. I am much, much better. It's been 3 months now. I don't have the breaking down of tears and different things as much as I did does not mean I miss him any less. In fact, I probably miss him more. But the point is that I understood that there was a process that I had to go through. Even in that, through my life, there's been different stages that I've had to walk through. My younger years were filled with negativity from people. I tell people I got over people very early. I had my first child at 14. And so the chatter and the noise about who I was and what I was not positive. And people had no idea what I had walked through and the process of carrying a child at 14 and just everything that meant, like losing my adolescence, losing my youth. I lost it very early, actually, and the point of growing up much sooner and much faster than should have been. All right. But I've been very, very transparent about it. I went through a period of time with drugs and different things that I had walked through in life. And it caused me to appreciate all the more what other people walk through. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be very transparent right here, right now, that it originally caused me to be very bitter. It did not instantly cause me to be that, oh my God, yeah, the lot, that I have empathy and I understand what you're walking through and all of that all at one time. It did not do that. That was not my story. It took a while for me to process and come out of that place of bitterness. But I did. I did because I was not in it alone, even though I thought I was. You may be walking through something that you feel like you're all alone. I wasn't alone. And even though it was not part of the broad scope of perfect will, okay, it was intricately intertwined and interwoven into who I was becoming. So when I say I had to go through private breaking and healing and learning to get to that place of surrender, to allow God to really work the way that He wanted to work in my life, I walked through all of that. I walked through all of that. And that's why I'm so vocal with you, my lionesses, because I know that, there's the time of waiting, there's a time of obscurity, there's the time of thinking that, really why? Like, does this life really, really have a purpose? I walked through that as well. Full transparency, at one time, I even tried to take my life because I didn't feel the value that it held. And that's why it's so important for me to make sure that you all understand you are valuable beyond measure. You have greatness within you. You were created on purpose for a purpose. You're not a mistake, and your life is not meaningless. That is why it's so important for me to make sure that you understand, because I understand being at that place of despair and not believing that there was purpose for my life. But there was, there is, and there also is that same purpose for your life. All right. You just whew, you just have to understand how important you are. So yeah, purpose has a price, but the reward, oh my God, the reward is divine. It is more than you could even imagine. So let's talk about things that possibly block purpose in your life, okay? Because some of you are ready, but maybe stuck in moving forward to grab your purpose and to walk it out. Blocker number one, fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment. But here's the truth: God wouldn't give you a purpose He didn't equip you for. This is important. Like, so often we are taught that once you answer the call, that you're equipped. I don't believe that. I believe that you were equipped for your purpose at birth. I believe that when He breathed you out into this earth realm, He strategically intertwined within your DNA your purpose. I believe that you were equipped then, but what you do is you grow into the knowledge of what that equipping means. All right. How do you grow into that knowledge? You grow into it by the things that you walk in. You grow into it by learning of yourself. Now, again, so we're going to go down this faith walk because I'm a woman of faith. The more I have learned about God, the more I have learned about myself. And that's because I was created in His image and in His likeness, as were you. And so the more I dig into the mysteries of who He is as that supreme being. I say this often and I mean this. I don't just serve a higher power. I serve the highest power that ever existed. I serve not the universe. I serve the creator of the cosmos. Okay. All the universes is out there. He created. Wow. He spoke it into existence. So that's why I believe that your word is so powerful, because if you were created in His image and in His likeness, as I was, then you're a speaking spirit, just like the first. So when you speak those negative thoughts and things against your purpose, when you speak in fear, that you don't believe that you will ever accomplish what you were created to accomplish, those words have weight. That's why it's so important to speak affirming things about who you are and about your purpose. It is vital that you do that, because you cannot walk through life thinking about yourself through other people's eyes. You have to see yourself through God's eyes, because it was He that created you for purpose. So when you see yourself through His eyes, then you see the greatness of who you really are. You see the majestic beauty of that spirit, that lioness spirit that lies within you. I've had various different people recently ask me about why did I adopt the lioness as my mantra. And it's very, very simple. First of all, she is such a majestic being, and she's so courageous. And just her existence is just breathtaking. Secondly, in her majestic, regal self, her sisterhood is vital to her. Lionesses are one of the only big cats that have a camaraderie with sisterhood. Most big cats, they walk alone. They don't intertwine with the other cats. But the lioness, oh my gosh, they pride themselves within the pride of protecting and watching out for their sisters. They pride themselves in protecting and walk and looking out for each other's cubs. And the other thing is they pride themselves in the love and connection that they give to their kings, to their lions. They're not in competition. They don't have to compete with their lions. You don't have to compete with your kings. You weren't created to do that. You were created to align yourself with him and walk hand in hand and create and accomplish greatness, never to compete. Think about, okay, we're going back to the Bible, I know, but we're going back to the Bible. If you were called to be his helpmeet, which is to align yourself to be a helper in his establishment of his kingship, a helper, okay, a helper to walk alongside of him, then you can't do that in competition. You can't. I think that that's one of the things that the feminist movement got wrong. I understand the push for equality. I understand our mothers and grandmothers and those that walked before us to give us establishment in the seat of authority, to break down the doors and the walls for us to be able to walk through doors. I get that, but they got that competition thing wrong because we were never meant to compete with men. We walk alongside them. And what it did when we established that I'm competing, it tore down the cohesion that we're supposed to have walking one hand in hand with one another. It's something that caused us to not be able to fully embrace the love that we are to receive from our kings and the love that we are to give to our kings. That love interwoven within us makes us a better queen and makes him a better king. So you may be a queen that doesn't have a king. That does not dim your value. It really doesn't. I'm not that one that's going to tell you you got to be married to be about something. No, 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 no. Because you need to be whole in who you are. And if it's so ordained that you align yourself with a king, then if in your wholeness there is no insecurity about who you are, and your king needs to be whole in who he is, so there's no insecurity in him about who you are. Okay, I say that on purpose because the men that are out there that try to quote unquote keep us in our place, it's because of their insecurity. So never walk in a place where you're subservient because of someone else's insecurity. Submission is not a bad word. I had to learn that because my thing was submit to a man. I don't think so. But if that man is submitted into who he is in your life and you're submitted unto who you are in his life, that cohesiveness will happen. And there will be no competition. There will be walking in agreement. There will be one-on-one agreement. It's not that you bring your half and he brings his half. No, you both bring your whole. And in that whole, you make it happen. You make it happen. Okay, get off that soapbox now. Let's continue on dealing with your purpose. But you need to understand truly, truly how it interwoven and intertwines with who you are with your king. So blocker number 2 is comparison. You can't walk in your purpose if your eyes are on her path. Galatians 1 and 10 asks, am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? See, your uniqueness is your superpower. Don't dilute it. Don't try to be somebody that you're not called to be. It just doesn't work. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm having a little trouble here with my notes because I have notes and I need to make sure that I cover everything because I don't want to leave anything out. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you are out there trying to emulate somebody else, you're not walking in the trueness of your purpose. You're not walking in your superpower. Your uniqueness is your superpower because it takes all of the different unique qualities that you hold and others hold to accomplish that you were called to accomplish. We are each other's answers. So there's a question that you have, and your sister is the answer for your question. Your brother is the answer for your question. It's likewise, they have questions in their lives, and God has called you to be the answer to their questions as well. It's very important that we understand that, all right? So you're not out there trying to fit in somebody else's mold of you. You're out there uniquely carrying what God gave you to carry, uniquely being who God called you to be. If you're trying to be the supermodel in the magazine and that's not what he called you to, then you're going to be miserable. And little word to the wise, that supermodel, she's going through her own things. She may look pretty on the cover, but she's got her own weight to carry. She's got her own burdens to bear. And so we need to make sure that we understand we're not trying to be somebody else. We have to be who we were uniquely called to be on our own. Who did God say you were? Who did God call you to be? That's who you be. We are human beings, not human doings, human beings. And I say this all the time, if I be who I be, then I will do what I do. If you be who you were created to be, then you can do what you were created to do. So stop trying to emulate and imitate others, all right? Walk in the totality, in the fullness of who you were created to be. I know I'm giving you a lot. This is why I have guests. Filling the whole 45 minutes is a lot for me, but the key is I want to break everything down for you to make sure that you fully understand the power and the beauty and the greatness of who you have been created to be. So what's blocker number 3 that keeps you from walking in the fullness of your purpose? Perfectionism. Perfectionism. Waiting until it's just right often becomes disobedience in disguise. Sometimes the I'm not ready really means I'm scared to start. Don't let the uncertainty of the unknown hold you back. All right? This is how I handle it. All right. And I'm not trying to make you a mini me, but I think that if I can share little tidbits and nuggets that I have discovered along the way, it may help you in your journey. All right. So when I'm facing an unknown, like I'm in a completely new season of life right now, I've transitioned from the day-to-day task of a quote unquote job where I was working for someone to working for myself. I have transitioned from being a wife to now walking in a singleness that I haven't walked in over 30 years. It's a transition. I don't like the word widow because it has such a I don't know. It just has a heaviness about it. So I don't call myself a widow. I am yet married. My husband has just transitioned. So he's no longer walking side by side with me in this earth realm. Oh, but I promise you, I believe that he is part of that great cloud of witness. And I said this to several people, and I really, really believe this. This man carried me in the spirit. And I keep going back to touching on the beauty that we find in that cohesiveness of a relationship, because I know from my own self that when we have walked through so much, we get to that place of independence and that place of I don't need anybody. I don't need nobody. I got this. All right. Or that place of it's just me and Jesus. I get it. I get it. Been there, did that. All right. But I don't want you to get so caught up in your independence, because I promise you, I will put my independence up next to your independence any day of the week. Okay. Fiercely independent, fiercely opinionated, vocal with my opinions. Okay. But I still understand that there is a beauty in singleness. Okay. I'm not looking to change my single status at this point in time of my life. There's a beauty in singleness to be able to come and go as you please, not necessarily having to take into account somebody else's feelings. And when you're married, you do have to do that. So know that, okay? But I also understand the beauty of walking hand in hand with somebody. So I just, we did a show recently. I did it with Neo. I believe it might have been last week's show. But anyway, on the show, we talked about it, and it was just kind of a segue that God took us on. It wasn't something that we were planning, but talking about the beauty of that walking in agreement with your mate. It's a beautiful experience when you can experience that. And so I went into all of this to say, what I was saying to other people is that my husband carried me in the spirit. He prayed for me each and every day. And so now I'm like, okay, well, brother man is face to face with God. So imagine what the conversations are now about me, right? So I can't lose. I just can't, because I know he's there still pushing. But anyway, I digress. Sorry. But I just want you to know that not to be scared to start, not to be so caught up in your independence that you're looking for perfectionism from yourself, even or from your spouse. None of us are perfect beings, but we are growing in perfection before God. All right. So, okay. I'm sorry. I went all around here. And my statement that I was starting with, at least I come back full circle, right? My statement that I was starting with was not to be scared to go into the unknown. All right. Look at it as a great adventure. All right. When you're going into a season of life or a something that you had not planned on, it's an adventure for you to learn even more who you are in the midst of the adventure. So don't let that blocker of perfectionism stop you. Don't, I'm not ready, or I'm scared, or it's just not the right time. Make sure that you're aligning yourself, because it may be just that perfect time. And you don't want to miss your timing. Okay. You don't want to miss your timing. And again, I'm going to go back to my faith thing. Okay. Because if God is walking with you, he will provide for you. You don't have to be afraid. You are not alone. You're not alone. And it's not all on your shoulders, as you have told yourself. I've got to carry this weight all along. I know what you've said, because I've said it too, but I've had to learn and grow that I'm not alone in this thing. And the weight is not all mine to carry. All right. So I'm saying this because I want you to know that I see you. I see your um a- and anxiousness for moving forward in what you've been called to do. I see you, I hear you, and I'm telling you, start where you are with what you have right now. Right now. Don't wait. What, like God told Moses, Moses, what is in your hand? And all he had was his staff. And he sent him forth with that staff, and it worked. All right. All right. So now let's get practical. How do you walk boldly in your purpose? Well, number one, you have to know your identity. Lionesses, you are not weak. You are bold. You are brave and built to carry weight. You're not asking for permission. You were born with authority. Walk in that. Remember, I talked about how majestic the lioness is? Walk in your majesty. Number two, stay connected to the source. No prayer, no power, no word, no wisdom. You cannot walk in kingdom purpose without kingdom connection. And yes, I'm saying that because I know that you need to know who you are in Him, and you need to walk in the totality and the fullness of what that means. It's vital to you. It's vital to your existence. It's vital to who you are called to be. Purpose requires alignment. So yes, you need to align yourself with that the power that created you, the power that has spoken you into existence. Do you not realize and understand you could have been born at any given time in the whole eternity timeline? But you were born for this, for such a time as this. This is why you have to be connected to your source, the source that gives you life. The source that gives you life is God Almighty, okay? He's the one that allows you to keep breathing, to keep existing. Your purpose requires alignment. You need to align with who you were created to be. Who you walk with matters. It matters. Are they pushing you forward, or are they pulling you back? What is your circle of friends? Who have you aligned yourself with? It's important. Are they speaking life to you, or are they speaking death to you? Are they trying to hold you back and stop you? Or are they there saying, go ahead, sis, you got it, you got it. And number four, you need to move in faith. Take imperfect action. Clarity comes through movement, not overthinking. Declare this with me. I may not know all the steps, but I know my next step, and I will take it in faith. I may not know all the steps, but I know my next step, and I will take it in faith. When you walk in purpose, it's not just about you. Your obedience becomes someone else's breakthrough. Remember, I told you, you are someone else's answer, and someone is your answer. So the way that you are aligning yourself to be their answer, somebody is aligning themselves to be your answer. Your business, your book, your testimony, it's shaping generations. Yes, your story matters. You need to understand that your story matters. It matters. It matters. Don't stop saying that nobody cares. Nobody cares about what you've been through. Nobody cares about what you have to offer. That is just not true. People care, and they need it. They need you. They need you. I saw this post, it's been probably over a year ago, but I've adapted it to myself. And the post says, your calling was not a conference call. It was personal to you. All right. So everybody may not rally around the call that's on your life, and that's okay, because your purpose is personal. It's never private. It's personal, but it's not private, because others need to know what you have to speak into their lives. Proverbs 13:22 says, a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. That inheritance is not just money, it's wisdom, it's identity, it's example, it's legacy, it's what you have been called to offer to the generations that are coming up behind you, to the people that have been called to you. There is a company of people that were called specifically to you. There is a company of people that are hanging on every word that you say. They may be in your home, they may be on your job, they may be in the marketplace, they may be clients of yours, but they have been called to reap benefits from what you have to offer. You need to understand and know that. It's vitally important that you embrace that. The call on your life is personal, but it is not private because there are people that are called to you. So as I close today, I need you to remember this. Number one, you're not an accident. Number two, you're not overlooked. Number three, you are not forgotten. You are a lioness and your roar has purpose. So today I challenge you. What's your next step toward walking in your purpose? Maybe it's a conversation, a journal entry, a launch, a leap, whatever it is, do it. Do it. The world is waiting for the version of you that walks fully in who God created you to be. I need you to embrace that. So until next time, walk boldly, love fiercely, and remember you are unstoppable.